2nd of June, 5-a-day further maths. Let's just jump straight in. Okay, first question is a solve. I like these questions. So what we'll note here is it's tempting to try and rearrange it in terms of 8. I would say arguably easier to say this is the same as 2 to the power of 3 to the power of x, and 16 is the same as, well, it's 2 to the power of 4, and then that's the power of 5 minus x. Then I expand my brackets, which means 2 to the power of 3x is equal to 2 to the power of 20 minus 4x. Now, because the base values are equal, that means I must be able to write that 3x is equal to 20 minus 4x. I'll probably do it in one go, but I won't. So add 4x to both sides is 7x, 20 over here, so x is equal to 20 over 7. First question done. Nice sort of straightforward, almost GCSE style question. Next one. In year 10, there were 35 girls. I thought it was going to be a Venn diagram. 2 of the girls are going to be chosen at random to go on a trip. Work out the number of different pairs. Now, we've seen this question a few times. It's the handshake problem. So in other words, I want to make some pairs. There are 35 ways of choosing the first girl. There are then 34 ways of choosing the second girl. So I'm going to multiply these together. However, then I'm going to divide by 2. And that is because if I choose, let's say, girl A and girl B, that is the same as choosing girl B and girl A. So I need to halve the number of pairs, and that gives me 595 pairs. Question done. Next question. In fact, no, actually, it's not the final question. The equation of the curve is this thing here. That looks horrible. Where A is a constant. The curve has a maximum point. The curve has a minimum point. Find the value of A. Okay. Now, as I often say, if nothing else, maximum, minimum, differentiate, get some marks. So I'm going to differentiate first. So 4x, oh, okay, now I see why the fractions are there. So 4 over 3x cubed differentiated is 4x squared. Then 7 over 2x squared differentiated is 7x, and then that's plus a. Then I know the maximum point. Now, maximum means dy dx is equal to 0 at the point x equals minus 2 and at the point x equals a quarter. Now, what I don't understand is I've got 2 ways of finding A. Okay, let's just do it anyway. Let's see what happens. So let's use the first one. So I'm going to use this one here. So in other words, 4 times minus 2 squared is 4, plus 7 times minus 2 plus A is equal to 0. Remember, turning point, gradient 0. So 16 minus 14 plus A equals 0, which means that A is equal to minus 2. I don't know why the second point's there. Let's just check it's consistent. Let's do the second point as well. So x equals a quarter. So therefore 4 times a quarter squared is 16, plus 7 times a quarter, plus a is equal to 0. 4 over 16 is a quarter, plus 7 quarters, plus a is equal to 0. Well, there we go, same again. So 8 quarters is 2, therefore a is minus 2. So that's worked as well. Okay, weird question, but question done. Next question. Prove that. Okay. Now, this is one of those questions where sometimes you kind of just have to go for it and see what's going to happen. And I will say sometimes in these questions you can go for it the wrong way and you get stuck in a bit of a mess. However, I think I know what's going to happen here, because I think when I write that as well, let me show you what I mean. If I start with the denominator, that's going to be the same as 1 minus sine squared, because cos squared plus sine squared is 1. In the numerator, I'm going to assume I can factorize, and actually I'm going to use this to help me, which therefore I think I can factorize this as sine theta. Let's just think it through carefully, and it's sine theta. And then I've got a minus and minus and a plus, so they're both minuses. And I want 8, so actually it's just going to be an 8 on one side and a 1 on the other. So actually that wasn't too bad at all, was it? Now, look at where I'm trying to get to. What do I notice? I've got a 1 plus sine theta, I've got a 1 minus sine squared. This is difference of 2 squares. So if I were to replace this with difference of 2 squares, so 1 minus sine theta, 1 plus sine theta, I can then see I've got the same thing on the top and the bottom. Almost, not quite. Because actually I need to rewrite this one as minus 1 minus sine theta. In other words, I need to switch the minus around. So I can't just change it. I need to account for it. And moreover, I'm going to put that minus into here. So if I put the minus into here, that becomes 8 minus sine theta. Now I did quite a few steps there. So again, watch that again, check you're okay with it, but help you a bit for A-level, sort of stuff you'll do at A-level. Either way, cancels out. That gives me 8 minus sine theta, 1 plus sine theta. Question done. Happy with that. I like today's questions. Good mix. Didn't really understand why I had 2 points of question 3. But aside from that, good mix of questions. Let me know how they went for you. Like, subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.